Hello everybody, welcome back. It's JudiciousFire, and I am here with the new hero in Castle Clash, Alphamech. Gonna take a look at Alphamech, his build, his uses, see what kind of utility he brings to the game, whether or not he's a good addition to your team. Please hit the subscribe button, notification bell. You'll know when hero reviews like this come out. Let's take a look at Alphamech now with his skin option. And here he is with his Robo Samurai skin, allowing him for 2 talents. Talent number 1, I've chosen a Flame Guard. We'll get to its significance in a moment. Talent number 2, I'm not completely decided on. I think that, and as we'll see through the course of gameplay, a few talents certainly do shine. Let's take a look at what he does. He's max, skill 15, destiny level 100, pushed as far as you can possibly go. Okay, so for 4 seconds, anybody nearby who's a bad guy gets their attack reduced. They also get silenced. It's a limitation. The bad guys have to be nearby. So that's basically his range of attack, about 10 squares out. He deals damage to those nearby units, and 10% of that damage that he deals, he gets back in health. That happens with a 6-second cooldown. So for 4 out of 6 seconds, that's operating. He's immune to silence, that's great. He has a high crit resist, that's nice too. He reduces damage by 60%, wonderful. When attacking, he has a 15% chance to recover his energy. So he does those kinds of things. Let's jump over to Rosaline. Okay, here's Rosaline. Rosaline does damage around in a circle. She takes less damage, gets a damage reduction. She restores health. I think the comparison can very easily be made, especially when you see Alphamech's proc. There is a real similarity between Alphamech and Rosaline. I think if you want to go back into Castle Clash, the last one before this might have been like a Rockno. I think you have to count Drakax and his circular, spherical attack. Of course, Vlad Dracula. And these heroes provide a cylinder of attack, a circular perimeter. And we're going to see that in just a moment. Let's jump back to Alphamech. Okay, I test all new heroes on Ordinary 1-1. It's a very long board to walk. I put an Empower insignia on them, and I test to see if they're auto-proc, and if they are, what kind of an auto-proc is it? Is it useful, global, or is it restricted in use, localized? Let's take a look. He's got an Empower insignia on right now. Look at the bad guys on the base and look at the buildings. Okay, he just procced. No bad guys died. No buildings got hurt. Now he procs. Anybody who gets near him gets shredded. Okay, we just learned he does not have a global auto proc. The only thing that he's doing damage to are the things that are within his attack radius. That's the nearby that it talks about in his skill description. That to me is a useless auto proc, because if the bad guy is within his attack radius, he's going to be attacking them anyway. Thereby, he will be activating his skill. So if you attack a base with this hero defending the base with an Empower, you'll see him light up, do his skill, and then go silent for a little while, then light up and do his skill again. Just like a Rosaline would do. In my opinion and my advice, you just avoid that hero and you attack somebody else. We also saw that the auto proc itself does no damage in terms of even troops. So that needs to be kept into mind as well. So it is not a hero that's going to do any kind of damage on a global effect or any kind of damage through auto proc. It's kind of a useless auto proc. Okay, back to our man here. Here's the build that I came up with because I look at him as an attacker. Yes, he does other things. He silences. But he does attack. The damage that he does is converted to health. Well, he's got to be hitting the enemy for that to happen. When he is in the process of attacking, he gets the chance for an energy recovery. That to me spells attacker. The useful to me as a player, useful parts of his skill involve attacking in some way. And so that's how I've built him. He's immune to silence, so Flame Guard, no problem. That's the main build I'm going to go for. Flame Guard. When I want to have extra damage reduction, extra health, I would go with a Sacred Light. I think that also, let's take a look at another insignia. I think that also a Wicked Armor would serve him very, very well. So I'm going to go one of these two builds. For his second talent, I might go with a Sacred Light and pair it up then with a Wicked Armor. I might go Wicked Armor and, try something else as well. But I think a Flame Guard, Sacred Light, maybe when attacking, and if you're not doing enough damage or you're getting hit with Reflect and Deflect in this game, then Flame Guard with a Wicked Armor. That would serve you very well. Of course, Sacred Light, if you want to put that in the mix, that's excellent. Let's take a look at his equipment. I went Spectre's Instinct because I wasn't having a problem keeping him alive. I think that it's just my opinion. I think that a Holy Conviction would probably serve him better as a general use hero. But I like the fact that I have a hero now on my team. I have maybe 2 or 3 now that are rocking a Spectre's Instinct. And if you're going to use this particular enchantment, kind of like a Malaise, it's better when there's more than one on your hero team that have this particular enchantment running. Then you get its full effect. And I like the idea that he's running it. I wouldn't do it on a squishy hero, but he doesn't appear to be too squishy. So that's what I'm trying for right now. Let's take a look at his traits. All accuracy. If it's a support hero, go dodge. If it's a hero killer, an attacker, you go accuracy. So he's all accuracy. That means when that vortex of doom, that spinning spiral of death goes out, it's actually hitting heroes. Otherwise, he's just a fireworks show. So accuracy is the build. Give him enough damage deflect and enough damage reduction or mitigation of deflect and reflect through Wicked Armor to keep him alive. I think he'll serve you very well. Upping his accuracy even more, great. If you want to give him a little dodge every once in a while, fantastic. Do it through a pet. You'll get the benefit. You want to give him more health, great. Do it through a pet. You'll get the benefit. But I think base level, starting the foundation of this house that we're building, accuracy is the key. Okay, let's take on Max Goose's base. We'll throw Alphamech right there in the center of the gang. Let Zeph clear out some troops. See what happens with that fox. Yeah, Zeph against Zeph. I'm okay with that. Okay, we'll throw the rest of the gang in. Let's see what our friend Alphamech can do. He definitely can't cut through damage caps. Doesn't look like he can put out the sustained damage either to whittle down those damage caps. And very much like a Rosaline in today's game. See how we're doing with bad guys on bases. And Alpha's not doing anything to the bad guys on the bases. It's just Zeph that he's attacking. Just that the hero that he's up against. Just in that circular area. You can see that his attack is not even hitting that east army camp. It's just about 10 squares out. That's about it. Okay, we made our way through Zeph. Now we're on to Fox. See, I brought my mic along for the ride. 70% damage or attack boost and attack speed boost. Forget about it. Well, it's certainly slow going. Sienna Prime Space. Let's give Alphamech a try. He's going to get hit immediately by a Boreal Fox proc. Let's see how he does against that. He is taking damage. It's not killing him. But it's getting close to. He's got a real nice survivability rate. I just did the review on Cinder Matron, and at the moment you drop her out on the board, she's turned to dust. Even alone, he can make it pretty far. Let's jump ahead to the next person, and let's throw him out there again alone. All right, here we go. You're going to have a whole lot of trouble in a second. Has a whole lot of heroes up in his face in a moment. You can see he's getting heals. You can see it is doing damage against Walla. Walla heals back up. And he's out. Here he is in insane 810. Highest level of insane dungeons. Because he has no global damage, no exterior building damage, he just sits there in the corner chilling, not taking any damage at all. So not a hero you would want to use specifically in order to pass these dungeons. Here he is now in insane 710. And he's running the Flame Guard and Wicked Armor build. That's good, especially for the extra damage output. You can see he's just got a bad timing against this poor Demogorgon that keeps on healing. Let's give him a little help by freezing up the Demo. There we go. Let's get him ahead here on the board. Okay, basically anybody who gets in his way, he kills. So that's excellent. But anybody who's not in that perimeter is taking no damage at all. Also, they're not getting silenced. And he's not healing from anybody outside of those he's doing damage to. So, you know, again, very much like a Rosaline, except with a silencing capability. Alphamech is a useful hero, and I think as useful as a Rosaline. Rosaline isn't somebody that necessarily players go to immediately when team building. But if we're looking at specific game modes, player versus player, where there is a small board and a small space, Lost Battlefield comes to mind. Labyrinth comes to mind. Even in some circumstances, perhaps Arena comes to mind. I think Alphamech would serve that same kind of purpose as Rosaline. It's really very difficult on a 9x9 board or whatever maybe Lost Battlefield may be for an opponent. Very difficult to get out of the way of Alphamech or Rosaline's proc. Thereby it becomes a real substantial hero killer. That's again why I went with the accuracy build. So I think Alphamech will serve good purpose in player versus player modes where there's small space provided, and you're pretty much guaranteed that the enemy's well within his radius of doom. They'll also have that chance to be silenced if they are not immune to silence. So Alphamech, I would say I would give him an above average rating. I would also kind of say the same thing about a Rosaline, above average. These are heroes with great potential and ability, but they do very little to help the team. This hero does not buff or strengthen our team, does not add attack, does not add damage reduction to the team, doesn't heal the team, doesn't provide silence outside of his small radius. If it was a global silence, I'd say he's helping the team. So, much like Rosaline, he's an island unto himself, a hero that really only helps himself, and Castle Clash is a team-oriented game. Without his ability to buff the team and to help the other 5 on your team, I could only rate him as above average. I wouldn't go thrashing out of my sanity to try to get this guy. I think that he's somebody that would serve, a few niche purposes, but it's not necessarily a hero that I would grab when I'm team building. I hope the game is treating you well. I hope the update's treating you well, and I hope you enjoy your clashing. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.